Welcome to another game in the Collegiate Star League. This is Game 2 between Harvard University and McMaster University, Season 5, Week 5. And over here we have a DOS spawning as the yellow Zerg player playing for McMaster University. His opponent's name is going to be Spencer, spawning as the red Zerg player from Harvard University. Going to be doing some chit chat here. Both Zerg players know exactly where each other have spawned, and not too much going on for each player right now. Just going to be building up. Enjoy school. Looks like DOS is interested in Harvard. Maybe go there for graduate school. Spencer saying it's good. So not too hard, I guess. It is his senior year, so maybe for some people it is easier. I'm not sure, but drones coming out for both players. Spencer a little bit late on his third drone there, and the gas being taken by DOS, so it's going to be a speedling opening for DOS right now. Gas being taken by his opponent as well, going to be going for the exact same thing. Speedlings coming up for both players in the early games. Spencer getting up an extra drone before grabbing that gas. 13 pool now on the way for DOS, and Spencer going to be throwing down his 14 pool. Both builds looking basically the same right now. It looks like a little bit of harassment here by that drone, and usually in this matchup we see both players go for a little bit of speedlings, and sometimes we'll see a player go for some banelings pretty early in the game, trying to do some damage, and the other player will go for some roaches, or both people do some funky baneling zergling business, and then we have a really crazy game for at least 3 to 5 minutes, and at the end of that, either someone has gotten roaches or somebody is completely and utterly dead. Looks like the metabolic boost being started for both players right now, as well as their first queens. 4 zerglings on the way for Spencer and 2 on the way for DOS, so he's going to be getting those out for some defensive play here. We'll see what both players decide to do. Gas is stopped mining for Spencer, but gas is continuing to be mined by DOS just by 2 drones, and that tells me he's going to be going for banelings. There it is coming up for him, and the queen will be spawning out in just a second. Spencer has grabbed the gas once again, and this sort of tells me that he's going to be going for roaches, but it does not tell me anything for sure. And there's the queen going to be running to the front. Not too sure why, but a couple of zerglings are going to be running in here. The few zerglings from Spencer are making their way in here. They will be able to take out 1 or 2 zerglings, but it looks like the queen and a drone coming off the line will help defend against that. And over here, Spencer is getting out a couple more zerglings, and the continual stream of zerglings from DOS is going to allow him to put on quite a bit of pressure, especially as the metabolic boost finishes up. 2 queens out for Spencer. Going to be spreading the creep a little bit. Looks like the queen and the few zerglings do deter the 6 from running in there and doing a lot of damage. Looks like 10 banelings or 10 zerglings on the way for DOS, and a couple of banelings going to be spawned over here. He's going to mount a huge amount of pressure here, and Spencer doing a great job of parking his queens over there. They are on hold position to prevent those banelings from just busting in there, and he is getting a roach warren right now. There it is, and he's also got a spine crawler that's going to be moving to the front, and the few zerglings here from DOS are going to be running to the front. See how much damage they can do. It looks like Spencer trying to get his zerglings up to the front as well. The few banelings are coming forward. Looks like the queens do get in the way, and the banelings are going off on the queens right now. Looks like both of these queens will be falling, and 3 more zerglings are still alive, and they're headed straight for the line over here. Looks like it was actually a baneling's nest. Oh no! Spencer losing so many drones. How did I call that a roach warren? Well, anyways, he does have a ton of zerglings left over, and that means he's going to be able to put the pressure on now. I guess I saw this roach warren and somehow transposed it in my head over to Spencer's base. And so DOS is the one that's actually headed for those roaches. A couple of defensive banelings on the way. Looks like Spencer is going to be able be able to get in here and at least do some damage, kill off the queen here, and the Zerglings here are going to be able to pick off a roach, maybe pick off the spawning pool. That would be huge. And here comes the Banelings horde. Looks like a couple of Banelings will be microed, Zerglings will be microed here to try to get those Banelings to blow up on their own. Looks like most of the Zerglings do get taken out, and there's one Baneling left. Roaches are popping out here for DOS right now, and he will be able to defend, and Spencer here is the one that's totally behind right now. He lost way too many drones in that engagement. Let's take a look at how many drones he's actually lost. He's lost 5 drones, and he is currently down by 3. But keep in mind, all of this time, he's been forced to just make drones to be able to catch up. And that's great for DOS. He's going to be able to make attacking units, also possibly even grab an expansion of his own. There is a Zergling and an Overlord checking things out over here. And the drone now headed down to the natural expansion to possibly throw that down, and the roaches are going to help defend. And there's the hatch coming up for DOS, going to be headed for that late game. Spencer here laying another creep tumor, now creeping out to the natural expansion. It's debatable whether or not this is actually good in ZVZ, because it does give your opponents a speed bonus as well. And over here, Spencer is getting his spine crawlers to move forward, going to be securing his own natural expansion. The drone is in position, not quite ready to throw that down yet. There it is coming up for Spencer. DOS is now nearly 20 food ahead of his opponent. He does have plenty of drones, more Zerglings, and roaches coming out. Spencer getting a roach warren of his own. And the natural expansion is going to be up sooner for DOS, so he's going to be able to have that extra production as well as slightly more efficient mining earlier on. The creep tumors continue to spread very actively for Spencer, doing a great job of covering creep. But again, it's still debatable. I like to see what a Zerg player says about it in ZVZ, because I think if it does give that speed bonus and you're on the defensive side, it may not be the best idea for you, especially if you have to respond to your opponent coming across the field. It's going to be really hard to delay them, especially if your own creep is making them move faster. It looks like DOS is going to be headed for a pretty big attack real soon. He has roaches coming out. I saw 20 Zerglings in the production queue a few seconds ago. A couple of roaches here as well as a couple of Banelings for Spencer. He's gonna be very hard pressed to hold this off. There are way more roaches here, and here come the few Banelings. Looks like they do go off on a very small number of those Zerglings. The spine crawlers being ranged down. More roaches coming down on the ramp for Spencer. Looks like he might be able to hold this off, but sustaining heavy losses here. It looks like more reinforcing Zerglings here going to be popping in here, and DOS is looking in a great position now. A couple of drones being pulled off the line to help fight, and more Zerglings being made by DOS, and a couple of more drone losses here for Spencer, even spitting on one of his own roaches for just a second. And more Zerglings spawning for DOS. He's going to be forced to retreat. Looks like he's going to continue this attack. More roaches out for Spencer though, so this attack will be held off. A couple of Zerglings are going to be scooting into the main of Spencer to see exactly what's going on. The Queen will take care of that pretty easily, and DOS is going to be able to retreat. Creep tumors continue to spread. Spencer is so good about this creep spread. I like how he's playing this out. Looks like DOS misrallying a couple of those drones there. He does have the natural expansion now beginning mining. Also the larvas popping off of that right now. Spencer does not have a queen over there because it was taken out earlier, so his production is going to be slightly weaker for a small amount of time. DOS is behind in the food count, but he is banked up. He has banked up 800 minerals. A couple of Zergling getting in here, nibbling away a couple of those drones. A queen arriving at the natural expansion. Spencer actually not noticing this and losing a bunch of drones there. And the Zerglings are going to be able to run into the main. Looks like a couple of roaches are ready for it, and the Zergling does finally go down. More drones popping out for Spencer, and DOS has actually been spending the last few minutes making attacking units, so Spencer has been able to catch up in terms of the drone count, but he's only now beginning mining at the natural expansion. He does have the lower food count because his army is smaller, and here comes DOS again for a pretty big push here. We'll see how much damage he is able to do. There are more Zerglings in the production queue, going to be following this attack up. And here comes the engagement. The Zerglings now running into the main. This could seal the deal. The Queen will fall, and all of these drones getting pulled off the line as well. And the engagement at the front, even though it is going, it's not going well for Spencer at all. Looks like the Zerglings reinforcing will push those roaches back. The Queen does fall. A couple of drones do get killed. 19 workers killed by DOS so far. The roaches are going to be reinforcing the natural expansion. Spencer is now definitely very far behind, losing that many drones and being forced to remake them. Also the Queens as well. His production is going to be very far behind, and more Zerglings have popped out for DOS. He's going to be making rounds and rounds of units to see whether or not he can actually bust his opponent down. I'd actually like to see him take a third base while he does this, as he is floating at 900 minerals. Instead, going to be throwing down a couple of those spine crawlers. The creep spread is very impressive coming out of Spencer. It is already halfway across the map. Never forgetting to spread that creep. Looks like he is a little bit behind on that right now. These creep tumors are primed and ready to go, but he's got other things to worry about. He's trying to remake his drones right now. 8 drones popping out right now, and the Roach is very hard pressed to try to actually defend this. And DOS making a couple of banelings here just in case his opponent decides to attack him. Looks like the Zerglings will be advancing across the field to see what damage they can do. Looks like they will get onto the creep and run all the way to Spencer's base, while his roaches are very far away and completely out of position. The drones being transferred out by Spencer. I guess that is a good thing that he had that creep spread. Being able to see those Zerglings. Looks like the Zerglings getting into Spencer's main. They will be able to take down most of those drones. And the Roaches trying to retreat now to defend, but it looks like the workers' kill count has gone all the way up to 50. Usually we never see this unless it's a TVZ, and Spencer does GG out of here. He does not have any drones left mining, and does not want to continue this game at all, and we're going to be tied up 1-1 and headed to... what is it? Scorched Haven for the 2v2 match. We'll see you there.